All right, let's dive into this.
Yeah.
Into marketing, huh?
I'm excited.
We've got
High five.
we've got some excerpts here from a marketing management textbook.
Yeah. Yeah, which
Some of the good stuff in there.
it sounds kind of dry, but trust me,
Ah.
this is pretty interesting stuff.
I think people will be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of like
Yeah.
go on a deep dive here to figure out
Absolutely.
what is marketing?
Yeah.
How is it changing right before our eyes?
It's amazing how much it's changing just even in the past few years.
Really? Yeah.
So much is different.
So to start off,
Okay.
I mean, what even is marketing in this day and age?
That's the big question.
You know, and
Yeah.
the textbook
Yeah.
kind of defines it as
Yeah.
meeting needs profitably.
Yeah. That's the classic definition.
I mean, that sounds pretty simple.
Simple but powerful.
But I think it's got to be more than that.
Oh, it definitely is.
Right.
There's a lot more to it. Like what does that even mean?
Well, I mean, it really comes down to understanding what people need and want, you know,
Okay.
and then figuring out how to give it to them in a way that, you know, makes business sense. It's profitable. You
And so
know.
not just about pushing products?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's really about creating value for the customer.
Yeah,
right?
that makes sense.
Like take IKEA, for example.
Okay, yeah.
They saw that people wanted, you know, nice furniture, but they didn't want to spend a fortune on it.
Right, yeah.
And they came up with this whole system, right?
Yeah, the flat pack.
The flat pack, the modern designs, affordable prices. You know, they really revolutionized the furniture market.
Yeah, totally.
Totally.
Okay, that's
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the thing that I found kind of surprising is the source said that it's not just products that get marketed.
Oh, that's right.
They list
Yeah.
10 things.
10 things.
They've got goods and services,
Right.
but they've also got events,
Yeah.
experiences,
You bet.
even ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, can you really market
Oh,
an idea?
totally.
What does that even look like?
Well, I mean, think about it like social movements
Okay.
or political campaigns.
Right.
They're basically marketing ideas,
Right.
trying to get people to support them.
Yeah.
Or even closer to home, how about personal brands online?
Oh, okay.
People building their own personal brands. It's all about marketing themselves.
It's like everyone's a marketer now.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got that
Yeah.
basic idea of what marketing is.
Yeah.
But the textbook mentions these major forces that are like
Yeah.
changing the whole game.
Absolutely.
Technology, globalization,
Uh-huh.
this growing emphasis on social responsibility.
Big three, yeah.
So let's unpack those.
Okay.
Let's start with technology.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a game changer,
yeah.
for sure.
How so?
Well, consumers, right? They have all the information at their fingertips.
That's true.
They can research products,
Mhm.
compare prices,
Yeah.
read reviews, all in seconds.
Yeah.
So they're not just sitting there passively
Right.
consuming messages anymore.
Right.
They're actively engaged. They're in control.
Right. So companies can't just,
They got to step up their game.
yeah.
Big time.
So what are some examples? Like, what are companies doing to...
Adapt.
Let's take Procter & Gamble, for example. They're doing some really cool stuff with data.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they've got these real-time data visualization tools.
Okay.
Imagine, like, a giant digital globe
Okay.
showing them exactly what's happening with their products
Wow.
all over the world
That's
at
crazy.
any given moment.
What kind of data?
Oh, everything. Market share, profits, prices.
Mhm.
They can even track social media buzz
Oh, wow.
about their brands, in real time.
They're using all that data to adapt their strategies.
Okay.
Personalized messages, stay ahead of the game.
So it's like this constant...
It's constant evolution.
Yeah.
And it's not just about keeping up. It's about, being proactive.
Right.
But, there's a flip side to all this technology, too.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Companies can't hide anymore.
Right.
One misstep,
Yeah.
one insensitive tweet, and it can go viral instantly.
Right. Yeah.
It's more than just cancel culture.
Okay.
It's a real shift in consumer behavior.
Okay.
Like, remember what happened with Progressive Insurance a few years back?
Oh, yeah.
They ended up defending this driver in court
Yeah.
against their own client.
Right.
And it backfired so badly.
When it hits social media.
It was a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
So actions speak louder than words.
exactly.
You can't just talk about your values. You got to live them.
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got this technology
Mhm.
that's sort of a double-edged sword. And then you mentioned globalization.
Oh, yeah. That's another big one.
The world's getting smaller, right?
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
so what does that mean for companies?
Well, it means that companies have access to these huge global markets.
Right.
But it also means more competition.
I bet.
And they have to figure out how to navigate all these different cultures and languages.
Yeah, right. How do you...
It's a balancing act between having, a consistent brand
Yeah.
and adapting to local markets.
Yeah, that's tricky.
It is.
Like, how do you market something that's going to work in Tokyo and Texas?
Exactly. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Like take GE, for example.
Okay.
They developed this portable ultrasound scanner specifically for the Chinese market.
Okay.
But then it ended up being a huge hit in developed countries, too.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, like ambulances and operating rooms found it super useful because the traditional scanners were so bulky.
Wow. A global hit from a local... Yeah. Exactly.
It's amazing.
That's fascinating.
Okay.
So, technology, globalization, and then the other piece you mentioned was...
social responsibility.
Yeah.
Huge.
It feels like consumers are way more aware now.
Oh, absolutely.
Of a company's values and its ethics.
Yeah, especially younger generations.
Okay.
They want to support brands that align with their values.
So it's not enough to just make a good product anymore?
No, not at all.
You got to walk the walk.
You got to walk the walk.
Right.
You got to show that you care about sustainability, ethical sourcing, fair labor practices, all of that.
Right.
It's not just buzzwords anymore. It's what people expect.
So, like, a company can't just slap a green label on something.
Oh, no.
And call it a day.
People are going to see right through that.
Yeah, consumers are smart.
They're savvy.
Yeah.
They do their research.
Okay, so do you have an example of a company that's doing this well?
Oh, sure. Look at Chipotle. They built their entire brand around food with integrity.
Right.
And they barely spend anything on traditional advertising.
That's true.
They let their actions speak for themselves.
Okay, and it's working for them.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's all about authenticity.
Okay, so it's not just meeting needs profitably.
Right.
It's about doing it in a way that reflects your values.
Exactly.
And connects with consumers on a deeper level.
It's about building trust, building loyalty.
Yeah,
Not just a quick buck.
Right, okay.
The long game.
So this brings us to this idea of holistic marketing, right?
That's right.
What is?
That's where it all comes together.
Okay.
It's about realizing that every interaction a customer has with your company matters.
Okay.
It's about creating this seamless, integrated experience.
So it's more than just the marketing department.
Much more.
Right.
It's everyone.
It's like every employee's part of the marketing team?
In a way, yeah.
Okay, so how do companies actually do this?
That's a good question.
Well,
the source actually provides a checklist for companies to assess how customer-minded they are.
Interesting.
It asks things like, does your R&D team actually talk to customers?
Oh, wow.
Do they understand their problems?
Okay.
Does the sales force understand the different types of customers?
That's a thing.
So it's really about breaking down those silos and having everyone work together to deliver that exceptional customer value.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
But I feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah, we're just getting started.
Right.
Just so much more to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, how do you actually compete with all these low-cost competitors out there?
Right.
That's a big challenge.
Especially with the online marketplaces and everything.
Yeah. Price wars are tough.
Yeah.
But, it's not always about being the cheapest.
Yeah.
It's about offering something unique, something valuable.
Right. So differentiation is key.
Differentiation is key.
Okay.
And then another big question is, how do you keep your customers coming back for more?
Yeah, customer loyalty.
Loyalty.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Especially now, it feels like consumers have more choices than ever.
So many options.
So how do you stand out?
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
That's a question for part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay, so stay tuned.
We'll be right back after the break.
Okay, so we were talking about some of the tough questions that marketers are facing these days.
You take one.
Like how to stand out from the competition.
Yeah, it's a crowded marketplace out there.
And build those strong relationships.
Absolutely. Customer relationships are key.
With customers.
Yeah.
And it all kind of goes back to
It
this idea of holistic marketing.
That's the foundation.
Right.
It's about the big picture.
Creating that unified experience for the customer.
Thinking beyond just selling a product.
Right. So how do companies actually
How do you put that into practice?
put this into practice?
That's your question.
The source mentioned 4 key dimensions.
That's right.
Relationship marketing, integrated marketing, internal marketing, and performance marketing.
Those are the 4 pillars.
Okay, so let's break those down.
Right.
Starting with relationship marketing.
Okay, so relationship marketing.
I mean,
It's all about building those connections.
pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, it might sound obvious, but it's really about building genuine, lasting relationships with your customers.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what they need, providing value that keeps them coming back for more.
Right.
Think of it like building a friendship.
Yeah.
It takes time, effort. You got to communicate.
And in a world where it's getting so expensive to acquire new customers,
Customer acquisition costs are through the roof.
it makes sense to focus on keeping the ones
Makes sense to focus on the ones you've got.
you already have.
Absolutely.
Right.
Your loyal customers are your biggest asset.
Okay, so how do you
So how do you cultivate that kind of loyalty?
cultivate that loyalty?
Well, personalization is a big one.
Okay.
Using data and technology to tailor your messages
Yeah.
and offers to each individual customer.
Oh, okay.
Nobody wants to feel like just a number in a database.
Right. It's like when Netflix
You-
recommends shows
Yeah, like Netflix.
based on what you've watched before.
It feels like they get you.
Yeah.
They're paying attention.
Yeah, it feels personalized.
Personalization is key.
Okay, what else?
Creating a sense of community around your brand
Okay.
can also be really powerful.
How so?
Well, think about brands that host events, right?
Okay.
Or they create online forums.
Okay.
Or encourage user-generated content.
Yeah.
It gives people a sense of belonging.
Yeah. Turns customers into advocates.
Okay. And of course,
there's
good old-fashioned customer service.
can't forget about that.
Right.
Absolutely essential.
Responding quickly to inquiries,
Yep.
resolving problems fairly,
Uh-huh.
going the extra mile.
All of that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a simple thank you note can go a long way.
It's all about humanizing the brand.
That's it?
Okay, so that's relationship marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to integrated marketing.
All right. Integrated marketing.
This sounds like it's about strategy.
It's about strategy, big time.
Okay.
It's about making sure all of your marketing efforts are working together.
So more than just having a cool website
More than just a website.
and posting on social media.
It's about the whole package.
Right, it's got to be
coordinated.
seamless, yeah.
Think of it like an orchestra.
Oh.
Each instrument has its part to play,
Yeah,
but it's the conductor who brings it all together
right.
to
Yeah,
create that beautiful symphony. Otherwise, it's just noise.
exactly.
Got
It's
it?
about harmony.
So you've got your website,
Mm-hmm.
your social media,
Your advertising,
your PR.
your events,
They all have to be
it all has to work together
working together. Yeah.
to tell a consistent story.
Yeah. A disjointed experience can be really confusing.
It can be really confusing for the customer,
For the customer, yeah.
and it can weaken your brand.
Okay, so that's integrated marketing.
That's integrated marketing.
And then we have internal marketing.
Internal marketing.
What is this?
This is an important one.
Internal marketing.
It's often overlooked,
Okay.
but it's crucial.
Okay.
It's about treating your employees like your first customers.
Interesting. Okay.
It's about making sure they're engaged, motivated,
Yeah.
and aligned with your brand values.
Because
Because happy employees lead to happy customers.
yeah, that's so true.
Right.
I mean, if your employees are passionate about
But
the brand,
If they believe in what they're doing,
yeah,
it shows
it's contagious.
it's contagious.
Okay.
And it's not just about, offering perks and benefits.
Right.
It's about creating a culture
Okay.
where employees feel valued,
Mm-hmm.
respected, and empowered to deliver those great customer experiences.
Okay, so that's internal marketing.
That's internal marketing.
And then last but not least,
Last but not least,
we have performance marketing.
performance marketing, the numbers game.
Okay, so this is all about
This is where the rubber meets the road.
measuring the effectiveness
Exactly.
of your marketing efforts.
It's about measuring results,
Okay,
tracking your ROI,
right.
using data and analytics to see what's working.
So not just doing marketing,
Not just doing it for the sake of doing it.
but doing marketing that actually
Going to deliver
results.
tangible results.
Okay,
You need to be able to show that your marketing is actually making a difference.
and we have so much data available to us now.
We got more data than ever before.
With all these
It's incredible.
tools and technology.
It's like having a microscope
Yeah,
for your marketing campaigns.
so you can see.
You can zoom in and see exactly what's working, what's not. You
Yeah.
can track website traffic,
Mm-hmm.
social media engagement,
Say,
email, open rates, conversion rates.
wow, so much data.
The list goes on and on.
It can be overwhelming though,
It
right?
can be a bit overwhelming.
To know where to even start.
The key is to start with clear objectives.
Okay,
What are you trying to achieve?
right.
What are your goals?
So if you're focused on lead generation,
Exactly.
then you might try.
You track the number of leads,
Okay.
the cost per lead,
Right.
the conversion rate,
Okay.
all of that good stuff.
So connecting your marketing activities to
That's it.
tangible
Okay,
outcomes.
you got to be able to show how your efforts are impacting the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's about accountability.
Okay.
It's about making sure your marketing is actually contributing to the business.
Okay, so we've talked about these 4 dimensions.
Of holistic marketing, but do
Yeah.
we have any real-world examples
Oh, absolutely.
of companies that are actually doing this well?
Yeah, the source highlights a really interesting example.
Okay.
Iceland's tourism industry back in 2010.
Okay.
They were facing a major crisis.
What happened?
Well, there's this huge volcanic eruption.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It disrupted air travel all over Europe.
Yeah, it was a mess.
It was a mess.
Ash clouds everywhere.
Ash clouds everywhere.
I remember.
Bookings plummeted.
Yeah.
Iceland's image took a hit.
Yeah, a disaster for tourism.
The total disaster.
So what did they do?
Well, instead of panicking,
Yeah.
they came up with this brilliant integrated marketing campaign
Okay.
called Inspired by Iceland.
Inspired by Iceland.
Okay, and they basically turned their citizens into brand ambassadors.
Oh, wow.
They got everyday Icelanders to show their stories
Oh,
and experiences with the world
smart.
using social media, Twitter, Facebook, Vimeo.
Okay.
They even got celebrities involved. Oh, wow.
Sharing their experiences, generating positive PR.
So they really leveraged.
They leverage the power of authenticity
Okay.
and word-of-mouth marketing.
Yeah, that's smart.
And to show that Iceland was still a beautiful destination,
Mm-hmm.
despite the volcano,
Yeah.
they set up live webcams all over the country
Oh, wow.
so people could see for themselves.
That's a really creative way to counter that
It was
negative publicity.
It was brilliant.
Did it work?
It worked incredibly well.
Wow.
Millions of people engaged with their content.
Okay.
Bookings surged
Really?
above and beyond forecasts.
So they turned a crisis.
They turned a crisis into an opportunity.
Wow, that's inspiring.
It's a great example of how a well-executed, holistic marketing strategy can overcome any challenge.
Okay, so we've covered
Mhm.
the 4 key dimensions.
We've talked about the 4 pillars,
and we've seen
and we've seen it in action.
how it can work in the real world.
Real-world examples.
But earlier you mentioned that marketers today
There are some big questions out there
are facing some key questions
that go beyond just the basics.
that go beyond just
Yeah.
implementing this holistic approach.
Absolutely.
So can we circle back to those?
Let's do it.
Like one of the biggest ones I think
One of
is
the biggest ones is competition.
how to compete.
How do you compete against those low-cost competitors?
Right.
They're everywhere.
Especially with online marketplaces making it
It's a race to the bottom.
so easy to compare prices.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, it feels like
Yeah.
someone's always willing to undercut you.
Always someone willing to go lower.
So how do you even
So how do you stand out?
stand out?
Well, it's about differentiation.
Okay.
It's about finding what makes you unique
Mm-hmm.
and communicating that value to your customers.
So it's about being more than just the cheapest option.
It's about being more than just the cheapest.
Right.
You got to give people a reason to choose you.
Okay, so maybe it's
Maybe it's superior quality.
your quality.
Maybe it's exceptional customer service.
Okay.
Maybe it's your commitment to ethical sourcing.
Okay.
Maybe it's your brand story,
Yeah.
your personality,
Okay.
your unique approach to solving a problem.
Okay.
The key is to find what makes you special.
Find your niche.
Find your niche
Yeah.
and highlight it.
And once you've
Once you know what makes you different,
identified that,
you got to make sure your customers know about it.
right.
It's all about crafting that compelling message.
Okay, so that's differentiation.
That's differentiation. But
But
then
there's loyalty.
customer loyalty.
How do you keep those customers coming back for more?
Yeah, it feels
That's a $1 billion question.
loyalty is more valuable
It's more valuable than ever.
than ever.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because there are so many choices out there.
Yeah.
So how do you build that loyalty?
Yeah. How do you make them stick around?
It goes beyond just offering great products and services.
It's about creating an emotional connection with your customers.
So going beyond just the transactional.
Going beyond the transactional.
Yeah.
It's about building a relationship.
Okay.
Personalization is key here again.
Okay.
You know, using data to tailor those messages.
Yeah.
Make people feel seen,
Okay.
understood.
Mm-hmm.
Creating a strong community around your brand
Right.
can also foster that sense of belonging.
So you're building like a
Yeah, like a tribe
yeah.
of loyal fans
Okay.
who love your brand
Mm-hmm.
and what it stands for. And then, of course,
Don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned customer service.
right.
Going above and beyond to solve problems,
Okay.
exceeding expectations,
Yeah.
showing that you genuinely care.
Okay.
That can go a long way.
So it's an ongoing process.
It's an ongoing process.
It's not just a one-time fix.
You got to nurture those relationships. It's an investment.
All right, so we've talked about competition, customer loyalty, the big ones.
What other
What other questions are keeping marketers up at night?
key questions are marketers asking?
Another big one is figuring out which customers are most important.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the reality is not all customers are created equal.
Right. Some customers are
Some are more valuable than others.
profitable, right.
More profitable.
Some are more engaged.
Some are more engaged. Some are more likely to be advocates for your brand.
So how do you figure out who those VIPs are?
That's where customer segmentation comes in.
Okay.
It's about dividing your customer base into groups
Okay.
based on shared characteristics,
Like what?
like demographics, purchase history, engagement patterns.
Okay. So,
So instead of trying to be everything to everyone,
right.
you can focus your efforts
On the customers.
on the customers
Yeah.
who are most likely to give you the best return.
Okay. So it's about
It's about strategy.
and strategic.
It's about making the most of your marketing budget
right.
by understanding those customer segments. You can tailor your messages,
Okay.
your offers, your experiences
Yeah.
to really resonate with each group.
So it's all connected, right?
It is. It's all connected.
These key questions,
Yeah.
they're all about understanding your customers.
That's the foundation.
Building relationships.
Building relationships.
Creating value.
Creating value
Yeah.
that leads to business success.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've talked about holistic marketing. It's 4 key dimensions, the challenges of competition and building customer loyalty. But there's one more piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah, one of the big ones.
Measuring the return on your marketing investment. Like, how do you actually know what's working?
Right. How do you prove the value of all your marketing efforts?
Especially because it can feel like an art and a science.
It definitely is. It's not always easy to measure those creative efforts.
So how do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you measure marketing ROI?
Well, the first step is
Okay.
you got to be really clear about your objectives. You
Yeah.
know, what are you actually trying to achieve with these campaigns?
Right. Like, are you focused on generating leads? Or
Yeah, leads, sales,
use it for
brand awareness.
brand awareness?
What's the goal?
Yeah, you can't measure success if you don't know what you're aiming for.
Exactly. Got to have a target.
Right.
So once you've got those objectives nailed down,
Okay.
then you can start tracking the metrics that really matter, you know.
Okay, so if you're focused on lead generation,
Yeah, if it's lead gen, you track the number of leads coming in from each campaign, the cost per lead, the conversion rate
so it's all about connecting your marketing activities to those
to real business outcomes. Yeah,
tangible results.
it's got to be measurable.
Right.
And the good news is we've got so much technology now to help us track all this stuff.
Like what? What kind of...
Oh, you've got Google Analytics,
Okay.
social
Yeah.
media analytics,
Yeah. Mhm.
marketing automation platforms.
All those,
It's all data, data, data.
it's like having X-ray vision into your
Exactly.
campaigns, right?
You can see what's working, what's not.
Right, and with digital marketing, you can really see
You can track the whole customer journey
that whole customer journey.
from start to finish.
So it's not just about
It's not just about individual campaigns.
individual campaigns, but about
It's about the big picture.
understanding the whole
Experience.
customer experience. Yeah.
How all those touch points work together.
Yeah, yeah. And seeing how those all contribute to that final goal.
Whether it's a purchase, a sign up, whatever it is.
Right. But I know for some people,
Yeah.
this whole data thing can be a little bit overwhelming,
It can be intimidating. Yeah.
especially if you're not a numbers person.
Not everyone's a data geek.
So what do you recommend for those people?
Well, the good news is there are tons of resources out there to help
Mhm.
courses, certifications, even agencies that specialize in marketing analytics.
So you don't have to become a data scientist
You don't have to be a data whiz,
overnight.
but you do need to be open to learning and investing in the tools and the knowledge.
Yeah, because it seems like it's really important
It's essential
to have a handle on this data if you want to.
if you want to stay ahead of the game.
Stay relevant, prove your worth.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered that.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
But there's this one final question from the source that I wanted to touch on.
Okay, shoot.
To what extent do marketers shape consumer needs and wants versus merely reflecting existing needs?
The age-old question.
It really is, right? Like, are we creating these desires or just tapping into...
Yeah, do we create the need or do we just
What's already there.
respond to it.
It's like the chicken and the egg, which came first.
That's a good analogy.
Do we need that new gadget?
Right. Do we really need it?
Or that trendy fashion item?
Or are we just convinced that we need it?
Or is it just clever marketing?
Because of the marketing, yeah.
Right.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
The source says that, needs exist before marketers come along. We all need food, shelter, connection. Those are basic human needs.
Right. Yeah.
But marketers can influence how we fulfill those needs.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about smartphones.
Okay.
Did we really need a device that could do all that stuff?
Right.
Connect to the internet, take pictures, play games, manage our lives, all in our pocket.
Yeah. Did we? I don't know.
Or did we just get really good at convincing ourselves that we needed it?
Right.
Through marketing,
Through advertising, product design, social media, all that.
a whole shebang.
Right.
So I think,
So it's kind of a two-way street.
I think it is.
Marketers are tapping into existing needs, but also
Shaping them.
shaping those needs
Molding them.
through their influence and creativity.
It's a dance.
Yeah.
And I think the best marketers, the ethical ones, they recognize that power
Mm,
and they use it responsibly.
right. Because
Yeah, no,
ultimately,
it's not just about selling stuff.
it's
It's about making people's lives better,
yeah, adding value.
adding value to the world.
Well said.
That's what it's all about.
All right, so
Mhm.
I think that brings us to the end
Yeah.
of our deep dive
The
into
world of marketing.
the world of
It's
marketing.
been a journey.
It really has been. We covered so much, from the fundamentals to the latest trends and the big questions that we're all grappling with.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, I feel like we barely scratched the surface.
There's always more to learn,
Right.
but hopefully this gives people a good starting point.
Yeah, and it's constantly evolving.
It is never a dull moment.
Right, so stay curious.
Stay curious.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Keep asking those questions.
Absolutely. And never underestimate the power of human connection.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to end on.
Because at the end of the day,
Marketing is about
it's about people.
building relationships,
Building relationships.
creating value,
Creating value.
and making a positive impact on the world.
That's it. That's the goal.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of marketing. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.